talk about your Baltimore Orioles. All right. So let's go ahead and let's talk about a breakout seasons. Okay. So 2024 breakout Baltimore Orioles. So what's a breakout? Okay. So a lot of plans and things around a lot of fans that you like say this guy's going to break out, that guy's going to break out. What determines a breakout? What is a breakout for a player? What determines that? What lets fan know such and such going to break out, this is going to break out, or this is going to happen like this? Well, as far as breakout, breakout is a player that is going to take the next step. A young player, especially, that's going to take the next step. That's what it is. And that's what we're kind of discussing. So last year, we had a bunch of guys like that. Gunnar Henderson stepping up. You had Adley going ahead, stepping into the All-Star game. Is a guy going to go from starter to star, or guys like that? Who is taking that next step? Who is breaking out in 2024? Let's talk about Colton Cowser. I think he's definitely going to be on the roster. No question about it. I don't know. It doesn't look like the Orioles are going to move at all in anything. We're here in January now. They have not moved off of Santander yet. They have not moved off anything. So they haven't done anything. They haven't done anything except sign Craig Kimbrell. And I think they signed Jonathan. I mean, they made a couple other minor moves maybe. But the main thing is done. Colton Cowser, I think, is on the roster this year, no question. I think he is going to play. It's interesting to see last year. I thought that Brandon Hyde thought he played more than what he did, but he really didn't. He kind of only played a little bit. So interesting to see what Brandon Hyde will do next year for Colton Cowser as far as that goes. I don't think he goes to AAA. I think he's a contributor guy at least. I don't know if he's going to start. I think he's going to be on the roster all season long. I think he is a contributor. Here's a guy who's definitely kind of in the same thing. Kerstad, I think, played better in the majors than Cowser did. So I definitely think he's going to actually play in the majors all year long. I think he is going to be a contributor. Let's see how Ryan O'Hearn does. I think there would be a good chance he could be your everyday DH if it not been for Ryan O'Hearn. I think Ryan O'Hearn on the roster kind of puts him in the same bucket as Cowser. I think he's going to be like a second outfielder, maybe like a fourth, fifth outfielder DH. I think he's just a contributing player as of right now. I think that could change if they do make a move of some kind. But I think he's a contributing player. And again, I don't think he plays in Norfolk at all. I think he actually plays in the majors, plays on the major league roster. I think with his injury history and his age a little bit, he's a young guy still. But I think probably he plays in probably he plays a lot of DH. I definitely could see that for him. Jackson Holiday, can't wait. He's not going to be in the AAA. 4 levels last year for young Jackson Holiday. He's going to be 20 years old. Think about that. Someone my age kind of wrapped my head around that. Like, so he's 20 years old. That means he was born in 2004. That's your starting shortstop. I don't think there's any doubt about it. He's going to start, barring some injury, barring something catastrophic happening in camp. He's going to start at shortstop. I think he's going to be a contributor. I think he is definitely the leader in the Rookie of the Year candidacy in the American League. No question about it. Jordan Westburg, contributor to starter. Kind of now, this is actually, I think, less of 100% here. Because there's a guy, it definitely doesn't look like they're going to bring back Adam Frazier. And so he was kind of sharing that second base role last year. Very good. I don't think he's as strong as offensive prospect. Defensively, very, very underrated, Westburg. So I definitely believe he can handle a starting job. I don't think there's any question about it. I don't think the Orioles didn't think that they would have actually went ahead and signed Adam Frazier. So if the fact that they don't think that, I think they have no problem giving it to Jordan Westburg. How good is he going to be? I think is going to be very fascinating. I have him right now in the last batting order I did around at the 9 spot, right behind Jackson Holiday. We'll see how good he is as a hitter. That's the thing. Very fascinating to see. That's how much he plays. One other name, Kobe Mayo, right? Very good. Came up, moved up the ranks pretty quick too last year, along with Jackson Holiday. Now, I'm not so convinced that he's on the roster right away, but it wouldn't shock me. I think there's a lot of depth at first. You have Mountcastle, you have O'Hearn, the other guys you can put it first, third base. You got Gunnar, I think, is going to move there full time. You still have your Rios, etc. However, I do think you see Kobe Mayo at some point this year. I don't know what that looks like, though. I think there's a small possibility he may be blocked in Norfolk all year. I don't know that, but I think there's a chance of that. But it's interesting to see. He's certainly, I think, about ready to play in the majors. Starter to star, Gunnar. Some people might say he's a star already. I almost don't have a problem with that, but he was a rookie last year, so I'm kind of not going to say that quite yet. I think Gunnar, can he move to that level of 30 home runs and 100 RBIs? I think so. He's fantastic. Bat speed of him, just breathtaking. Quick bat. I think he's still learning how to hit too, as quiet as he's kept. But his bat speed is fantastic, versatile in the field. I don't think he's a great shortstop. The more I watch him at shortstop, I didn't love him there. But I do like at third base, he's really good. Second base, I think he's fantastic there as well. I think you're going to use him at third base. I think you're going to see a lot more of him at third base, especially with Jackson Holiday on the roster as a starter. Outstanding stuff. I think Gunnar, could be an MVP candidate next year. No question about it. Here's another guy that might be in the All-Star game. Grayson Rodriguez. Grayson, if you look at the year numbers, maybe you're not super impressed. Down the stretch, the last 2 months, he's fantastic. I believe if this is me, the first start of the year, he's my ace, Grayson. Unless you sign a Dylan Cease or something like that, we still don't know yet. As of this recording, there's a million Dylan Cease rumors online. But I think Grayson is their number one starter. I think he wins 15-plus games, has an ERA under 3. If he pitches outside of the playoff start like he did the last few months, I definitely think All-Star could be in the cards for him. Yes, exclamation, question marks, DL Hall. I don't know what's going to happen with DL. I think I'm pretty sure of with him, the only thing really is he's not going to be in AAA. Got it, seriously. I don't think that he's going to be in AAA. He's going to be on the Major League roster. I think he's in the fight for the 5th spot. There is a chance they could, when they break camp, he could be a reliever, especially seeing how it looks in terms of the bullpen, which is always a working prospect of bullpen. I think they still want him as a starter. I think they're going to use him as a starter if they don't sign anybody. He's going to have to fight with Chase McDermott. I think he was the minor league pitcher of the year. He absolutely has a shot at a 5th starter spot. I think, honestly, too, if they do want to use DL in the bullpen, and we're not sure of that yet, I think he's going to get a shot at the 5th starter. Him here, I do think it's a little more likely he's in the minors. I don't think that's out of the realm that he's in the minor leagues. Whereas I think DL, will be with Baltimore regardless. I think there's a chance I think McDermott stays in AAA, where I don't think that is the case at all with DL. All right. There you go. Thank you very much for joining us for this week's Ravery Sports Podcast. A lot to cover we had. So thank you for joining us for all of it. Our Terps contest, we had a Terps game, we had a last Maryland football